Go to Infendo.com and join our Discord and ask us a question.
We put the donkey in Donkey Kong. Infendo Radio is on now.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Infendo Radio, episode 645. I got that right. You can check the feed, check the title of this video, check the YouTube video that you can see on our YouTube channel because we're uploading these there now. I'm joined by the always affable, sometimes laughable co-hosts of my friendship and show, Eugene and Justin. We're going to talk about stuff tonight, and it's going to be pretty one-sided for two of us. So,
sorry, Justin.
Get prepped, get hyped. We got stuff to talk about, but before that, let's talk about who we are and what we're all about. Justin, where can the people find you when you're not doing this show?
Well, you can't find me playing games most of the time, apparently, but you can find me on Twitter at InfendoJustin, where I may not have been playing games, but I have been putting together game-related Lego sets. You can also find me on Twitter at Utilidork, where I manage my website, thedisneyparkbench.com, which is all about Disney, Disney World, Disney movies, and possibly Disney Lego sets.
Excellent.
Really into Legos lately.
I can tell. Yeah, I've been seeing you've been working on a NES Lego model, and I've been looking at your pictures in Discord. It looks pretty cool. I'm a fan. I don't even like Legos, and I'm a fan. Kind of like Legos, but not enough to buy them. Anyway,
not patient.
Yeah, no, not patient at all. But Eugene, you're a patient guy. You got patience for days. What you doing? Where can the people find you? What's up? What's going on?
Well, I'm doing good. Thank you very much for asking. Go to Infendo.com for everything else. The other place you can find me is on the Nintendo online store trying to get a Nintendo 64 controller, but I didn't get one again. Justin, did you get one this time?
No, I didn't get a notification, so I never, seriously, y'all need to, directly message me when these things happen.
I might have if I would have gotten one, but it was already sold out by the time I found out.
So now I knew Justin.
Yeah, now in stock has been failing me.
I don't need one, Lucas, if that's your answer.
Well, what I was going to say is I know Justin's been trying to get one for months and years, and it's been hilarious, but I already had one, Eugene. Is this a second?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because you know what I want to do? I want to take it apart.
You want to color it.
I want to take it apart, and then I want to take the top shell off, and then I want to get a really nice golden spray paint and spray paint.
Ooh, no. No, you need to get a custom clear shell so you can have that clear, purple.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I wonder if I could take off. It probably wouldn't work. I'm sure it wouldn't. But I wonder if I can take the old Nintendo 64 shell and put it on the new guts.
You can't because they're the Bluetooth and connect buttons on top.
Yeah, that's right.
And the other Z button.
Some custom work if you really wanted to and cut the plastic, though. You can make this work. I believe in you. Well, I believe in someone out there. Brian could probably make that work. He's pretty handy.
Yeah, but other than that, I'm just actually I watched your YouTube channel, believe it or not, Lucas. So there's a little toss to you. How are you doing tonight, and where can people find you?
Yeah, I'm pretty good actually. I last night Steve and I hung out and we played something I'm going to talk about and change the system. We played the new demo for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. I almost called it Sunburn. And we recorded our whole play session, and I am uploading those videos to my YouTube channel, Lucas Feast. So if you want to watch Steve and I play a game we're very passionate about for a very long time, you can watch us do that. I uploaded a video today where I fight with Steve. Oh God, I can't even remember their names now. The two beginning monsters in the demo, the ones from the old game. Next, we're doing Astalos, and then we got the big bad. So stay tuned and check all that out. Come subscribe, have fun, give me your precious subs. Anyway, yes.
I watched. I don't know if it was a new one or whatever, but the title popped up on my feed or whatever as I was scrolling through my thing, and I was like, okay, I gotta click on it. It was called Bones for Days. Is that it? For Days.
That's Inscription. That is a card game.
Yeah,
it's like a roguelike horror card game. It is a cool game, dude. I love that game. I want to go back to that one too. I appreciate you. Cool. Anyway, we have a show for you tonight, and it's not just us complimenting each other and talking about all the channels that we have and whatnot. This is going to be kind of a weird show if you're used to our usual format, because we don't really have news to talk about. And Mario Strikers came out, Battle League, whatever it's called, that came out last week. And originally, I was going to be the only one to get it. I watched a guy play it on launch night from Game Explain, and I was like, oh, you know what? This game actually looks good. So I hit the trigger, and I got it too. And we're going to give our impressions, and we're going to bore Justin to tears, because Justin doesn't have it. But
What you'll probably end up doing is making Justin spend money, but
like, yeah, we're
It's
probably end up making
fun.
a few people spend money tonight. But yeah, it is really fun. So we're going to have kind of an extended change the system. We're going to start with just this game, then we'll work our way into a proper change the system. We'll talk about anything else we've been doing. But let's talk Mario Strikers Battle League. And Eugene, I really want to give you first go with this, because I was the doubter, right? I was the one who was like, this game might be bad, and I don't want to buy it. And you, like, from day one, you were like excited for this. So I think you deserve first blush at describing this game. So
And as
tell us
per
about
usual, I'm the one that's probably definitely played the least out of the two of us, for sure. Like I was telling you pre-show, like an hour and a half, 2 hours into this game. But I like it. It's bringing back the old Mario Strikers vibes, where you have to go and, find a little corner to use your super after hitting everybody, so then they can't get you. Like it's bringing back the old feels. So I'm liking it a lot. A little bit bummed for sure that the character roster is a little bit weak. However, I feel that it's almost made up for by the amount of character there is in customizing your gear, because that's where it is at. Oh man, that is super fun. I spent, I think, the most of my time doing that, because I'll go get enough to unlock something, and then I'll go spend my time in the shop. Okay, well, I've only got so many. Yeah, it's fun. So my impressions are very early in the game, but so far so good for me. I couldn't tell you how much of a single player experience there is, but I'm guessing you're going to tell me a little bit about that.
I could, yeah. I've been playing the game entirely in single player. I have yet to dip a toe online. Don't really want to, except that I made a battle league, because that's the
Which
thing
I
to
will
do,
join.
Please do. We're called the Super Bloopers. We're pretty cool. We've got one whole member right now. So I've played a lot of single player. And what I really, like Eugene said, this game brings back the feeling of like old Mario Strikers. And it does. Like, it really does remind me of like Mario Strikers on the Wii, which was my Mario Strikers. But the other thing that it brings back the feeling of is old Mario sports games, which is something that I feel like tennis and golf didn't really do for me. Like, I kept enjoying golf to a degree, but feeling like it was just not like scratching that itch that I had for like old N64 Mario Golf. This game does what I want. Like, you can pop in and you can do like just, battles against computers, battles online. But there's also like a comprehensive tournament mode where you can go up against like 5 or 6 different teams of players in tournament mode. Justin is raising his finger in question. Justin, what would you like to ask?
about how long does it take to play like one game? Like if you just sat down, started an exhibition game, and played, from start to finish, how long does that usually take?
Yeah, so you can set the timer for however long you want. By default, like in a tournament, it's 4 minutes, so that's like the default. But that 4 minutes doesn't
4
account
minutes
for
per quarter, or 4 minutes total?
4 minutes total.
There's no quarters in soccer, Justin.
But that doesn't account for like when the timer freezes because you're doing a special attack, or when the timer freezes because you're watching like a replay of a kick that just happened, or when the timer freezes for any of the other like myriad of reasons that make
Like
the
when
matches
this
feel, like,
happens.
long. Yeah. So honestly, an exhibition probably going to feel more like a 10-minute game than like the 4 minutes that you're experiencing, and it feels
that's still pretty snappy for a sports game.
Yeah, it's comfortable. Like when I first started playing, I was setting the timer to like 5 minutes, and I was like, okay, 4 minutes is not long. I want like a long game here. So I was setting the timer a little bit longer, and I was realizing, no, 4 minutes really feels perfect. Like it's that exact right amount of time where it's like all of a sudden you're like, oh crap, there's only like 30 seconds left. I gotta hope that I can land this.
But when I'm getting ready for bed and I only want to play like a couple of short ones, I'll set it to 2 minutes so then I can get like, a couple of 5-minute games in type of thing, So yeah, it's got options.
If you want a really traditional, more like, soccer feeling game instead of like Mario Strikers, you can turn off the special attacks, you can turn off the items, you can like just play soccer. Instead of having a match that's like 11-1, you'll have a match that's like 2-1, like it's much more legitimate feeling. So I do that every now and then just because it's like, this feels more like, more of a challenge. It's more of real soccer. Hard mode is hard.
Haven't even tried it.
It's
no way.
Hard. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of spoil something about the tournament mode. It's like a slight spoiler, but
that's fine.
Feel free unplug for a second if you want. But so there are like 5 or 6 different trophies to get, and I noticed as I was unlocking the trophies, these are all silver trophies. I wonder why that is. And then once you get that last trophy, it unlocks the hard version of tournament mode. I have not been able to accomplish a single gold hard trophy yet in this game.
Jeez.
It is bloodthirsty, old school hard, and I absolutely love it. Like you cannot set up a super, knock out a guy like Eugene was saying, and then just like do it, and like I was gonna say Birdo, she's not even in the game, but like Yoshi's right here, and Yoshi's not gonna come at you. If you're there and there's a computer, they're gonna come and kick you and knock you out of your special.
Yeah.
They're going to pass and pass and pass and kick it over your goalie's head. And hard mode is hard, and I really appreciate that because that's gonna give me a lot of replayability in this game. I'm gonna be doing tournaments for days trying to get these trophies. So
I am into it a lot. I haven't even touched a lot of like the tournament mode or anything like that, so it's fun.
Yeah.
It's bringing back, like you said, the old Mario sports vibes that I feel like we're just kind of been missing.
Well, and then every time like you score a goal, like your characters have like a couple of different like, I scored a goal animations that are really snappy. When you get like a trophy in the tournament, they grab the trophy and they do a little dance and stuff. It feels like what I liked so much about like the old Camelot games. This isn't even a Camelot game, but it feels right. Like it feels like Mario Sports, and that's a really good feeling because that was what I was missing. And like when I play this game, I feel like I'm right back in like, early 2000s level of like Mario Golf and tennis kind of like quality of game. So I'm very like I didn't think I was going to be this satisfied with this game, and then like I said, like I was talking to Steve after the show or Thursday night or whenever it was, and I had on in the background like a guy from Game Explain doing like a live stream of like launch night, and I'm watching him play this game, and I'm like, this game actually looks pretty good. Like, this game looks better than I thought. I was expecting it to have kind of that hollow feeling that a lot of like the more modern spin-off Mario games kind of have, but like it feels good. It feels full. And apparently, according to the leaks, we're due for like 10 additional characters in the course of this game's lifestyle. So
that's what I'm waiting for. Truly, it makes me feel fanboyish to even say it, but like I'm missing my Birdos, I'm missing my Daisies, like I need them, I want them.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm kind of right there with you, and I want like a mix. Ideally, like I want Daisy. I need Daisy. Pauline would be really cool.
Sure.
Shy Guy or Goomba or that kind of like I'd love that kind of stuff. Like give me some weird polls. Give me some some choices or stuff like that. But no, I like this game. I really like this game. Like I'm happy that I was wrong about this one because I've been very nervous about this game. I didn't think I was gonna like it. I really like it.
It seems like the replayability is all over the place too, because like there's a lot there in the multiplayer. Seems like there's going to be a lot there just like collecting every single little, like if you're like a Steve, and you have to collect every item. Yeah, there's a lot of that. Yeah. I'm guessing that when they release the new characters, they're probably going to release new outfit, item-y type things that you can get.
Probably like levels and stuff too. Yeah.
So
here's. Go ahead. No, please, because I'm going to talk for another like 40 minutes when I start talking.
I was just going to finish up and say it looks like they're taking a page a bit from Splatoon's book, if the leaks are to be believed, and I'm kind of here for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind it. Part of me wishes we could just get a really full game at launch again like we used to, but I also kind of like getting drip fed if it's like, something I like. So I did want to go over. There's a couple of like. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, same. I would have rather it been like unlocks. Like, okay, you have to do like something really, really hard to unlock the gold Mario or something like that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Or, Smash style, where you play it for
So-
X number of hours and then you get
Yeah.
a new character.
Yeah.
So I will say it's not a new character, but there is something that you get from beating the easy version of tournament mode. All the way
Okay.
through.
I'll have to do that.
There is a little unlock. So yeah, I would work on those trophies. I don't know if there's something for getting all the gold trophies. I probably won't know that for a year and a half because, like I said, it's very hard. But yeah, I did get a little something, and I was like, oh, neat, that's cool. It made me feel like a kid. Made me feel happy. I have encountered a kind of cool Easter egg in the game that I kind of want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly how it works, but the stages are made up of two halves, right? So it's like, oh, Steve chose Donkey Kong and I chose Bowser's Castle, and they merge, and like this half of the field is Bowser's Castle, this half is Donkey Kong, and it's all cosmetic. But from what I can tell, if two stages are identical and they merge, you have like a 30% chance of getting a really cool remix of like a song from like a past Mario game. So like I was on like the Mario pipe one, and all of a sudden I hear like the new Super Mario Bros. Theme, but it's like all jazzy and rock and roll and stuff. I had Donkey Kong. I had like Jungle Japes playing. That was like the first one I found. And I'm trying to remember. I'm sure Luigi's Mansion is just going to be like Luigi's Mansion, but there was it was like Bowser's Castle was like a like a da 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 da, kind of like Bowser's Castle remix. So like really cool, like really just loving the little details that pop up in this game. But the other thing that's cool, if you go into the club
like
builder,
4 hours long. Oh yeah, sorry.
Oh yeah, no, it really is. Like there's a lot of stuff there. It's really cool. No, what I was going to say is in the club builder, you can like make a stage, but one of the things you can get for playing online in your club is like currency, like that goes toward the club specifically, and apparently you can use that to kind of customize your map to a degree. So you can change like the pattern on the field. Instead of the goal being like question mark blocks, they can be like an invisible pipe with coins going through them and stuff. So you can kind of create your own like little course. And I don't know how hard it's going to be to do that. I haven't dabbled in the online yet because it's not even out. Like the club online doesn't launch for another like 5 days or something. But
sure,
like I'm interested to try all this. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, it's fun. It's got a lot of depth too. I feel like like there's
yeah.
You can play it really casually, but I feel like that there's going to be a really high skill curve, kind of like in Smash. So like the people who are really good are going to be like really good because like there's like the perfect shots and all that stuff that you can like implement and everything like that. So yeah, no, it's cool. It's a hell of a game. I'm loving it. It's I'm glad that I ended up paying the $60 for it, type of thing. The one thing I'm a little sad about is that I didn't get it physically, but I just had to have it like right now, type of thing.
Yeah, that's where I am, honestly. No, I feel like it's a case of quality over quantity. Like the quantity seems to be coming down the road, but like quality wise, it's a really solid game. I'm genuinely like 9 out of 10, like maybe even like 10 out of 10 on this game, as opposed to like Mario Golf. I enjoyed. I put like maybe 10 or 15 hours into Mario Golf. I played with Dad a lot. Like Dad got into it for a few weeks. It was a good game, but it was like a 7 out of 10 game for me. It was good, but there were things about the old Mario Golf that I liked more than this one. The only thing that this game doesn't have that like the old Mario Strikers had was more character selection, and even that to a degree is more interesting because in the Wii one you could play as one interesting character and then a bunch of minions. And in this one you can have like in this one you can have 4 like Mario, Luigi, and then Yoshi and Toad. You can do that. And Yoshi and Toad, this is a really cool detail, you can have multiples of them on a team. Yeah. So Mario can only be on one team each. Like you can have Mario versus Mario, but you can't do a team of 4 Marios. But characters that are not like a singular entity, like Toad and Yoshi, they can be an entire team of just themselves. that's a cool detail. Like, that's a really cool detail. I like that a lot. So,
I do too.
that kind of stuff does it for me.
I was building my team, and then I was like, well, I don't really know who I want to pair with because I got Waluigi, and I didn't want to just pair just Wario, because then who else do I have go with him? So I was like, well, hell, I'm just gonna be Waluigi and a bunch of freaking Yoshis, and that's who I've been rocking with. It's great.
Yeah, I like Peach and 3 Toads, and that's my go-to. And because you can do like with or without costume, you can even have like one of the Toads in like battle gear, and the other 2 Toads just hanging out in like shorts and a t-shirt. Really fun, really fun. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm a big fan, and it sounds like you are too. So it makes me happy.
Love it.
I like when we agree on games. Yeah, good game. Justin, pick it up, buy it, play it.
I was gonna say the real.
I don't know. The new the Ninja Turtles beat 'em up comes out tomorrow, so that might consume some of my budget at least for the next couple of weeks. That is a 20. Well, it's 25. It's launching on sale for 10% off, which is nothing. But no, the $40 one hasn't gotten a release date yet. But that's I really want the Cowabunga collection that has all of the old games on it. This is the new one by .emu.
That's the one I want, actually. I don't need the Cowabunga collection because I've got all those on emulator. But this is new and shiny, so I'm probably going to pick that up as well.
I think Steve's excited for that too. I'm the only one that like has. I just don't care. Like I feel for you guys, but like I didn't grow up with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm not that much of a beat 'em up guy. So like this is just like the perfect storm of disinterest for me. But like Steve, will play with
this
you.
is the most. This is like the
active.
most 90s ass game they could
really
release,
is.
And I am all about it.
So the real barometer for me back to Mario Strikers is, all right, is this going to turn the corner for somebody like Steve or Justin who has already kind of... Steve already swore off the game, and it sounds like he's maybe getting it. So, or are you talking about the Ninja Turtles game, Steve?
No, Steve's getting Ninja Turtles,
okay.
But we can still try to work our way through to Justin eventually. So let's keep hammering home how great this game is.
Justin, earmuffs. Just tell Justin this is a hockey game, and he's in. I know it.
Yeah, it's just hockey on grass.
We'll see what the budget looks like in a week or two, and maybe I'll dive in.
I think the thing that's gonna slowly eat away at your sanity is when in like 3 weeks we're like, hey, Koopa Troopa's a playable character now. Hey, Pauline's a play, and like right. every few weeks we're gonna be coming back to this game because like that's what I think is gonna do it, but we'll see.
It's a nice palate cleanser for me between...
That is one of the things that does keep bringing me back to the other Mario sports games is, oh, hey, there's a new character, even though I always play as my me.
Sure.
Like, the thing I like about this game, because I've talked to Steve about this before, because he still does golf, and it's like, oh, you can unlock Wario in his overalls, that kind of thing. Like, I've said this before, I'm getting sick of games that feel like a job. Like that was my big turnoff with Switch Sports. It's like all the unlockables are like, hey, go online and play 5 hours of bowling and you can get a squirrel suit. And I'm just like, I don't want to do that. Like I want to unlock things because it's fun. I don't want to like feel like I have to like devote a night to sitting down and grinding out. I have enough games like that. I'm playing MMOs right now.
Totally.
Those are the jobs. So like the fact that this game doesn't have that level of like, better hurry or you're gonna miss out, at least not right now, like that's a big plus for me. Like I really like that.
And the unlocks are like super attainable. Like I got 800 coins I think for completing the training, I think, so I was like, oh yeah, let's go spend all that money.
Oh really? You get money for completing I skipped the training. I gotta go do the training.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All my money's come from tournaments, so I'm like running dry right now because it's like all I've got left are these really hard tournaments.
Yeah, if you complete.
Okay, good.
I don't know if you have to complete it or do like the last one, you get coins. So yeah.
I might have to try that then because they were like you should try some training, and I was like, screw training. I was born in 1991. I don't believe in training.
I have to do that because I have to check all the boxes because I'm that kind of person. But
Yeah. I appreciate that. I feel more of a sense of pride when I learn on my own, and I can be like, "That's why I suck, because I was never taught how to lob the ball." So,
Sure.
yeah. All right. Well, as much fun as Mario Strikers talk is, why don't we pivot into a more general change the system? And I think to mix up our conversation a little bit here, why don't we give Justin the floor?
I
Because,
think we owe it to him at this point.
Yeah, I feel that way too. So let's make that happen.
Well, all right. Well, let's put the spotlight on the most boring person in the room. 'Cause, it's been the same. I will say, I finally rolled credits on Lego Star Wars. Can
Have
I
you
just
rolled
say
credits on Legos? Have you finished that project yet?
Not yet. I'm very close. I am halfway through bag 20, and there are 21 bags.
Okay.
So I'd show you
they
what
number their bags. They never did that when I was a kid. They just
Oh my
gave
God.
me this instructions.
Legos.
Just like
Oh my God, like the way they organize them nowadays is so awesome. They have numbered bags and you open them in order and the instructions go through step by step. So you open bag number 1, you follow the instructions
That's
through
really
all
nice,
the pieces that came in
actually.
bag number 1, then you open bag number 2. The other Lego, I'm quoting this one set that I have. It's actually Mock Bricks, which is a knockoff. They number their bags, but they don't number them in any particular order. So I have
They
like a
number them, but they
4,000
use
piece.
alien numbers that don't make any sense.
So I have a 4,000 piece mock brick set of the Disney World Haunted Mansion. And I'm dreading putting it together because it's basically going to require getting a big bin, dumping all 4,000 pieces into it, and rummaging through to find the right ones.
I can't even
asked-
picture what 4,000 pieces looks like. Honestly, like I
I
couldn't
asked,
tell you.
how did knockoff Legos get the rights to Disney's The Haunted Mansion?
They didn't. It's so Mock Bricks is kind of like user created, like people.
Oh, okay.
come
I
up
was
with their
picturing
own
like
designs.
Mega Blocks or something, like
No, it's called The Haunted Manor.
Okay.
So
And to be fair to
you know,
Mega Blocks,
it's-
they have Pokemon, so like anything's possible. But yeah, okay,
Yeah.
I get you. I get you.
yeah, so somebody basically recreated Disney World's Haunted Mansion using Lego bricks or something similar to it,
Bricks.
and created the instructions and released them, and then this company takes those instructions, gathers the pieces together, and sells them as a set. So
pretty cool, actually. Like, I bet you can find
Yeah,
some
mock-
cool. So it's like the 3D printer of Legos. Like, that's really cool.
kind yeah, I mean, if anybody out there is interested, their website is mockbrickland.com. That's MOCBRICKLAND, Mockbrickland.
Not a sponsor.
And
Just a
they
fan.
do not a sponsor, definitely not, because I definitely paid money for it. But it's they do have knockoffs of like Star Wars sets, so you can get like that $700 Super Star Destroyer, but it's only like $200. So take that for what you will. Anywho, been doing a lot of Legoing. I'm almost done with the Lego NES controller and cartridge are all done. I'm building the TV right now. Go to follow me on Twitter at Infendo Justin. I have been documenting my progress there. You can see how far I've gotten. I should be able to finish it tonight or tomorrow, but I've been doing a lot of that. As far as gaming, as I said, I rolled credits on Lego Star Wars last night or the night before, I guess. And can I just say to all the developers out there, if your games end credits run for longer than 10 minutes, you need to put a warning.
Or a skip
Or a
button.
skip
So-
option. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, there is a skip option, but I typically let the credits roll. And, I listen
then-
to the music and
Then
wait
you're
for,
the
some...
masochist here.
Well, like, okay, so like for Rockstar games, they always have like things that go on in the background.
Do. Yeah, it gets
Sure.
really funky and like it puts you in the
Yeah,
mood
so-
and stuff. And I get you.
So like when I beat Red Dead Redemption 2, I sat through and watched all those credits because there's story stuff that goes on. For
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto 5, I sat and watched the credits for about 20 minutes
Yeah.
and said, F this, I'm done.
See,
Never did
see,
finish them. So
I was like
the end credits.
washed with those. Like I was washed in this feeling of like I just finished like a 30-hour movie. I'm gonna sit here and just take in Grand Theft Auto 5's credits. Like it felt good for me, but I get
Did
you.
Marvel ruin credits for us?
Yeah, kind
Well,
of, because they
see,
made them so appealing.
So, well, I've always been a credit watcher, but even back when I was a child, my mother would sit through the credits, and I always do because again, I usually enjoy listening to the music. There's usually something to look at, or I like, hey, I know that name. He worked on this other movie, but so Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga's end credits lasts almost an hour, and
Seriously?
the music. Now you figure this is all 9 chapters of the Star Wars saga from which they took like hours and hours of music from the soundtracks. The music during the end credits is like a 5-minute loop that goes from the the typical ending music and then fades into Across the Stars from episode 2 and then loops back. So after about 15-20 minutes of this, I'm like, how much longer does this go on for? I went to YouTube and I'm like, this is an hour. Screw this. I'm not watching this.
See, that's what I would have done
So
first.
please,
At first, I would have gone to YouTube and just like scrubbed through just to see if I'm missing anything, and then yeah. But I guess if you like to listen to the music, but.
Well,
But again,
after
it's
the
only
fourth
the-
time I listened to the music, I was done with it. But
See, so like they could have done like a Sonic and like medleyed like a song from each episode together.
That would have been
exactly like
yeah.
well, like the soundtrack album for Revenge of the Sith has like a 15-minute long medley of various music from the entire that time 6-episode saga. Like if they had done something like that where here's music like you said from every movie. Anyway, I'm talking way more about the credit. I'm talking about the credits for about as long as I watched them.
I still fail to understand how credits can physically be an hour long. Did they credit like everyone that worked on the original movies in every language or something?
I think it goes into because all right. So Traveler's Tales is a European.
Yeah, I know they usually do like
it might just be
credits.
British.
So
yeah. So I know, like in the EU, they usually have to like have developers in every country do the translations. I don't know. I didn't get that far into it. Point being, I finally rolled credits on the game. I beat all 9 episodes. So now Lego Star Wars is going to become that kind of slow burn, open world. What am I going to do today? Sort of game.
Sure.
Instead of the all right, I'm going to sit down and play through a series of levels based on a movie, the culmination of which takes about as long as actually sitting and watching the movie. So, like the last time I played Lego Star Wars, I literally played episode 9 for about 2.5 hours. Like I could have just sat and watched the movie at this point. But so that's nice. It's good. It's gonna be fun to kind of explore and see everything that there is. I've unlocked 2 or 3 of the multipliers, so I'm making money quickly enough that I can start like buying stuff, but the problem is you have to buy the multipliers, and the price of the multipliers scales with the amount that it multiplies. So like if it's $1 million to unlock the first multiplier, it's $2 million to unlock the next one, and then $4 million for the next one, and then $8 million, or whatever, however the multipliers work. So you have to save up the same amount of studs every time you unlock a multiplier, no matter how many multipliers you already have. So that's a pain. But anybody who's played a Lego game knows once you've unlocked like half of the multipliers, you're making money so quickly that you don't have to worry about saving. Grand Theft Auto 5 still playing. Again, I'm just kind of powering through the story and not worrying about the side missions. I'll do those later. and it's amazing. I remember the first time I played that, getting to the point where you finally unlock Trevor and being stuck as Trevor for just so long. Like, my God, why can't I play as anybody else? When does this story progress? Yeah, that was like one evening for me playing through it a second time because I didn't get distracted by exploring the entire area and doing all these side missions and everything. I just did the like 2 or 3 Trevor exclusive missions and then went
Trevor
right back
is
into
a
where you can switch
treasure.
characters.
Let's be real.
Oh my God, I remember seeing Stephen Ogg in whatever season it was. He joined The Walking Dead, and I go to my wife, "It's Trevor." She's like, "What?
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto 5? That's trash.
Yeah,
That's
that
trash.
was
God
pretty
damn it! I
great.
did it again."
If Infendo Radio longtime listeners want a real treat, I don't know what episode it is to just start digging up episodes, but we once played a game of is it Trevor from Grand Theft Auto or Tingle from The Legend of Zelda on this channel? And let me tell you, it was not an easy game to win. So if you really want to dig that episode up, good luck to you. I don't know where it is, but
It's in the archive.
find it.
I don't think I was on that episode.
No,
I might
you
have to dig it up.
absolutely were.
You were so frustrated with me for playing that game.
you were.
Still on the show, but Mike was not. So like it's somewhere in that like 2-year time gap. Go dig that up. Go find it. If you find it, tweet at us so other people can find it.
That's when you were about to swear off games on the show altogether. I absolutely remember that. Anyways.
So I've spent way too much time talking about all the games I haven't been playing, so I'm ready to pass the torch.
Fair.
I might play for an hour or so tonight. I don't know what it's going to be.
All right, Eugene, well, you want to go next or shall I? Really, I'm good either way.
Yeah, I'll go. I actually do have kind of a lot to talk about, so I guess buckle up. Aside from Mario Strikers, that hasn't even really been the main game I've been playing. The main game I've been playing is clearly Elden Ring, but before that I have a product review because I got an Xbox Series X last week, and it is awesome. It's so cool. It's just kind of amazing that it just like works with all my stuff. Like I downloaded Elden Ring. It has what's called Smart Delivery, so I didn't even have to buy it again. And my saves synced up, and it looks really cool in 4K. And honestly, I was able to... It's probably just because it was shiny and new, but in my opinion, I was able to beat this part that I was struggling with because I have the Series X, because it doesn't take like 10 minutes for it to load after I die. I just like boot right back in. So I beat the final boss, and I'm on New Game Plus now. So it's fun until my daddy takes my Xbox away. But the Series
I'm glad
X,
I'm not the only one who got that reference.
the Series X though, man, it's amazing. I probably could have known this. I'm sure that there's reviews out that are talking about this when it first launched and stuff, but I just wanted to like test it out. So I grabbed my Mortal Kombat Xbox One game just to see what happens, and it just installs right on there, and I can play it right away, like no problem. It even installs for some of the games. I don't know about Mortal Kombat specifically, but some of the Xbox One games are enhanced. So like it'll have like 4K ability. It'll give you the option to play it at like 60 frames per second type of thing. It's really awesome.
The Xbox One X does that as well. Red Dead Redemption 2 has like 4K enhancements. So if you play Red Dead Redemption 2 on an Xbox One X, it'll render in at least 1080p, if not 4K. I think it renders in 4K with totally upgraded. And I don't even have a 4K TV, and I can tell the difference. Like, it's amazing. How do like older Xbox games? Have you tried any like 360 or original Xbox games on it?
Yeah, I actually did, because I have the what is it called? the Rare Replay or whatever. So that has a bunch of different games on there. So I actually tried like Nuts and Bolts. Ran great. Runs really fast actually. Yeah, it's crazy how it just works. I was a little bit, I'll be honest, a little bit disappointed that the UI is basically exactly the same as an Xbox One or whatever. So like, I don't get to like go explore the menus and find something shiny and new. But at the same time, it was familiar and it works.
It really feels like I haven't seen much of the PlayStation 5, but it really seems like this generation's consoles are really just upgrades to last generations, which is fine with me because, like you said, you can play a last gen game no problem. Just pop it in and play, which is something I think we've all wanted for decades now. But yeah, it really does feel like you had the Xbox One, and then we upgraded with One X, and now you got the Series X and the Series S, and like they're all just kind of increasingly more powerful iterations of the same hardware. And I kind of hope that all of them keep doing this because it should mean greater compatibility from generation to generation.
Yeah,
I hate
awesome.
I hate to be that guy, but that's actually kind of what I enjoy about Nintendo consoles because each one is like a brand new toy that's like completely different from the other, with the exception of kind of like
It is,
Wii
but how many
U
games
just
can
I
we
feel
no
like,
longer play because
yeah, exactly. No, I
Yeah.
totally
But
agree
you
with
like
where you're
that
coming
walled
from.
garden.
But I like getting a brand new system with a brand new menu and a weird control scheme. And
Sure.
I for me, Nintendo systems are really more like toys than they are like hardware. And I appreciate that. You know, I know that that's probably an unpopular opinion, and people probably want to just see like the Switch 2, the Switch 3, the Switch 4. But I really like that the next system is probably going to be
I
like the Nintendo
yeah.
Octopad, you know, or
There was
some nonsense like
definitely,
that.
there was honestly for sure, for me, there was a little bit of like a tinge of, oh man, like there's not really anything shiny and new about this. Like not even the controller. The
Where's my
controller,
Weather Channel? Yeah.
the controller is pretty much exactly the same. Granted, it does have a share button now, and like the back has this really nice like matte grip to the back.
the
So
Xbox One controllers now are basically the Series whatever controllers because I have two of them now and they're super comfortable.
oh, so you have one of those ones? Yeah. No, they're great. They're
I
awesome.
got two. One came with my One X, and another one I bought. There's a 20th anniversary version with like a green. Those rubber pads are green, and the triggers. They feel so nice. Like I love just
It
rubbing
does.
my hands against them.
And then you can. I haven't tested this yet, so I guess don't take my word for it. But I'm fairly certain I can even use my old Xbox controllers on my Xbox Series X in case I want to play multiplayer. So I don't have to spend, immediately have to spend $120 on controllers or whatever type of thing. So that's really nice as well. And I haven't even touched on my favorite feature yet, which is quick resume. You can so it's a lot like the Switch where you can basically turn off, just basically turn off the Switch, turn it back on, you're right back in the game. But you can do that for multiple games. So like I can have multiple games in a quick resume state.
That's cool.
And just go back to playing FIFA, if I want to, because I'm
My
getting
system
my
would be
butt
such a
kicked.
mess. My system would be such a mess. I just have like 80 games like waiting to be played.
Sure. No, it's a cool console. I am like I said, a little bit jealous of my peers that are playing the PlayStation 5 with that cool new controller that has all the cool, I don't know, can't remember what it's called, but the triggers have all this cool resistance technology, and that's supposed to be really cool. And the Xbox doesn't do
Dual
that.
sense.
Yeah, thank you. And the Xbox doesn't do anything like that. However, I've got Game Pass, and I've got all of these games that I'm playing for free. Well, as part of my subscription. So yeah, man, I don't know. The Switch has been really fun, but like I feel that at this point, I'm gonna need the Switch is gonna be taking a little bit of a back burner to the Xbox these days because it just plays so well. It's a really good console.
Well, that's kind of why I feel like. Remember last week we were talking on Question Block about how like it's time kind of for a new Switch. Like that's how I felt at least. That's where I think we are because the Switch, it's still a good system. I still boot it up for games that I want to play, but I'm finding I'm playing the Switch a lot more for like recent releases than I am going back to games. And it's not like where it was like, all right, let's spend 15 hours Korok hunting today, you know. And it's just I'm kind of at that point with the Switch where I'm like, okay, what else you got, Nintendo? Like, show me something else that's going to blow my mind and change the way I think of video games.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, enough of that though. I do want to, and I'm sorry, I told you I had a lot to talk about. One last thing I want to talk about is I've been doing a lot of 3D printing. I got, gosh, about a year ago now, I got an Ender 5 Plus because I'm that guy and I have to get the top of the line anything because I'm a moron. And I haven't really utilized it much in the last year until the last month or two because my son's birthday's coming up. And we usually do little table decoration things and my wife has me 3D print them. So he's really into Frozen this year, unfortunately. Because that song is terrible. But I've been 3D printing all this Frozen stuff, so it's really cool. So I got this little one here. Then I got this.
If you 3D print something that's clear,
no, that's just glass. But the
okay,
these little guys
like that's
here,
a fancy 3D printer.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's got the little guy. So yeah, I've been doing that a lot.
Little fire lizard dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it is a fun hobby for sure. It's expensive because the 3D printer I got was like $600, but what are you gonna do? And that's it. That's all I got. So I guess I'm gonna pass it over to Lucas and his expensive hobbies.
Pass it over to me and my expensive hobbies. Before we do that, though, quick update on the Tingle versus Trevor Phillips thing. Our ghost of Steve, who hangs out in the studio with us, actually went into our Google Drive where we keep old episode notes and found out that episode is episode 507. So if you want to go watch that.
Oh my God, Steve. That is well done.
You're done with this. Yeah, go give that a listen because that was a show. And there were some other things there too. We debated like storytelling versus like practical gameplays. I saw the show notes. You sent me a picture. So yeah, it was an episode, man. Go check that out. But in the meantime,
well done.
I'll tell you about a couple of the games I've been playing other than Mario Strikers. Because like Eugene, Mario Strikers is kind of a drop in the pan for me. I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy XIV, which is something I've been talking about for the last few weeks. It's kind of become my game of choice for the moment. I'm one level away from being able to become a Dark Knight. I am level 49. However, I took a little break from that and I started working on my fishing level because that's something I haven't done much of. Oh. And I unlocked the ability to do basically a fishing raid on a boat with 24 other people. And it was the best 20 minutes I ever spent in a video game. Like just hanging out on a boat, fishing. All of a sudden beams of light come up. I'm catching like eels made of pure energy and giant tuna crabs and oh man, I really like this game. It's a good game. I am enjoying this game. There's a lot of like when you get online for like a party match, and I've said it kind of feels like playing Crystal Chronicles, right? Like you get into a session with like 4 other players and you're running around this map trying to do things. You can tell there's players who have been playing this game for like 10 years, literally 10 years, and they're just like, okay, we're just gonna run past all the enemies and stuff. I'm a tank. So like it's my job to draw the ire of the enemies. So when people want to like cheese it, but then like 2 other players don't want to cheese it, I get in this weird feeling where it's like, what do I like? What is the appropriate thing for the guy who is responsible for antagonizing the enemies to do? Do I keep them on me and do I like just stay my place and hope that the other guy will come back? Or do I try to like bolt with the other guy? I've tried both. Staying in place seems to work better, but I've yet to really master the etiquette of this game when it comes to like, I'm a brand new player who started like 2 weeks ago.
Are you mic on or mic off?
Played this game for 10 years. Mic off all the way, as is everybody that I've played with. Yeah, no, fair. I'm definitely not that level of online player. I have not hooked up with a single person that's used mics. I don't know if there's like a setting that like matches you with those people or whatnot, but yeah, it just hasn't been a thing for me. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, but all in all, like really enjoying this game. Just every now and then, like I'll hop on a bit. Okay, let's grind out another level. Let's try to get up to level 50 so I can unlock a new class and that kind of stuff. But I'm enjoying myself. Really like it. But nothing super new to talk about. Just kind of more of the same right now. So that's that. I also started a very old game that I never thought I would play, but I watched some clips on YouTube and it intrigued me. And I was like, okay, what the heck? Let's give this a try. Sam and Max, which is a Telltale game. Have you guys experienced that? Yeah.
I haven't played
I
the
have
Telltale.
not, but that is an old school LucasArts.
Yeah.
I was going to say I played the LucasArts, not the
whatever
Telltale.
point and click game.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think the Telltale ones that this is based on came out in like 2004, 2006, something like that. I know there were like 2D LucasArts ones before that. The guys who worked on these games when Telltale went under, this one company got like almost all the rights, but they were able to basically like work with the other company and say, we're going to take the rights to these games and we're going to remaster them and stuff. So they've been remastering them. They did a few changes. They recast one of the characters. They took out a couple of the jokes that were like weirdly inappropriate for a video game and replaced it with some kind of honestly kind of like dry humor that really didn't work. But all in all, they're much better versions of what I've seen the old games are. Just lighted much better. They added new environments. They changed like, backgrounds and things like that. So all in all, very positive changes. And then Mel, maybe if you're like an old fanboy, you'd hate that kind of stuff. But from what I've seen, I'm definitely playing like the superior version. Like I've looked it up online. There's people who are like, how dare they remove a joke about a man dressing
I like how
up
you have
in
to
a
get
woman's...
the face.
Yeah. Well, it's like because they're all like, but it's like seriously, there's like people who are so offended by the fact that they removed like a joke about like a guy turning into a woman because that might be like insensitive today. But there's like 4 of those jokes that they removed, and that's the only cut content. And like, there's so many things they added. Like, they rescored all the music. They added new music. They changed the graphics. They added like exterior shots for all the different places you've. It's so like just impressive the work they've done. So I'm all on team remake for these games. But
That's like the Conquer remake for the Xbox, where they bleeped a few more of the swear words than they did in the N64 version, but overall the game like looked and sounded and played so much better. So
I think I'm trying to remember when I watched, because I didn't play that game, but I watched an entire voiceless playthrough of that game.
Oh wow!
It's like I played that game. Yeah, I was like, okay, let's check this out. I want to say I watched the remake because it was much easier on the eyes, and I just tolerated like the bleeps. But it might have even been like a hack where they, like a ROM hack where they like kept in all the dirty jokes and stuff. But
I just never did the remake because I was one of those, ooh, I'm not getting an Xbox because I'm a Nintendo fanboy type of thing.
I get that for sure. Yeah, but no, Sam and Max, long story short, fun series. It's just like a point and click adventure, story, ridiculous kind of game, but fun. It's my I don't want to say it's my pooping game. That's kind of an old adage around here. It's more of my kind of like, Justin, I'm laying in bed at 2 a.m. and I'm not ready to fall asleep, so I'm gonna like go through an hour and see what what the detectives are getting up to this time. Are they gonna try to shoot a mime? Who knows? Like that's where I am.
That was my my Batman Telltale game for me for a while, and then I just kind of fizzled out of that before I even finished the first episode.
Well, the thing I like about this one too, I loved the first series of The Walking Dead, and I was really disappointed when I found out that none of my choices mattered, because I thought that they did until I got to the end of the game and I looked up like the alternate choices and I realized everything leads to the exact same point. And this game doesn't really do like fake choices. It's just like, it's like Phoenix Wright. You have to match this item with this character to accomplish the next scene. And so it's the things that you're doing are more linear, and it's open about that, and it's just pushing you toward like the next point in the story. So I like that. If you're going to present me with choices, doesn't matter, like if I get to choose between killing the man or the woman on the farm, I want to know that means something, and the man's not just going to sacrifice himself at the last minute if I choose the woman, I hate that kind of stuff.
And that's where, and I've said this before on the show, where I would rather have a game that takes 10 hours to complete, but I can play it like 100 different ways.
Sure.
Than to have a game, and especially if we're talking something like an open world Grand Theft Auto style game, I would rather have that 10-hour story that changes every time I play it than to have a 50-hour story that's exactly the same no matter what I do.
Yeah.
It just seems more like a game thing to do, to have your choices matter.
Well, that was where I was so frustrated, because I think I started episode 2 or series 2 or whatever, and season 2, I guess is what it was called. And, this was right around the time Telltale shut down, so I don't even remember if they finished that series or not. But I remember getting to like part 2.
I have all of them. I haven't even played them yet.
And it's like, at the end you have choices for Clem, the little girl that you're with, and it's like you could tell her to like be brave or to be strong or to just keep running. And then I realized like none of this matters. Like she's still gonna grow up into the exact same person. None of my choices meant anything. That was so frustrating, Like the only things that changed was like you can shoot the guy or your partner can shoot the guy, that kind of stuff. And it kind of colored the story to a degree, but it didn't really change any outcomes, which was unfortunate because the storytelling was so good. Like the storytelling was really good.
I think that's why Telltale kind of almost went under, as it were, because they you got to see behind the curtain, you got to see the Wizard of Oz and realize, oh yeah, this is, it's all a farce almost. But I still stand behind season 1 of The Walking Dead, even though that, my choices didn't mean anything. The way that they presented that story, even though it was linear ultimately, was just so well done, especially if you were playing it episodically back then, I felt, because I was waiting. I was like, man, I cannot wait for this next episode with the way this one ended,
Oh, I was hooked on that first. Like, it was real interesting. I think and I'm going to spoil here. So if you don't want to spoil,
take
Justin,
it out.
I'll wave you when it's,
Give me a thumbs up when you're done.
The fact that the main character had to die at the end of the first season,
it did
really kind of killed the second season for me.
Oh yeah,
because then the whole cast was different, the story was different. It was just a different game. Justin, come on back.
As I said, I have all of the Walking Dead games on my Switch because they were all on sale at one point for like $2 each. So I know, I'm like, oh, I've always wanted to play these games. My wife might want to play these games. I'm going to get all of these games. And, 90% of the games I get on the Switch that are on sale, I have never booted them off.
For me, that was perfect...
Give yourself...
Go ahead. For me, this was the perfect sit on the couch or in bed with, the wife or the girlfriend watching next to you, because it is that where... you can make different choices. They'll be like, oh, no, do that. Or, oh, yeah, no, do this, say that. So I think that would be an enjoyable experience. And even if they don't get into it, I think that you would get into it because it's a good story. The first season.
I mean, my wife introduced me to The Walking Dead, the TV show. So that's why, I tried getting her the game on the Vita because I have a PlayStation TV. So I thought she could play it on that. But because... the touch things, you couldn't play it on the PlayStation TV, so she never got a chance. So that could be something interesting to do later on, is just kind of mutually interact with the game.
Yeah, it's cool.
Take 8 hours out of the next 2 weeks and just set aside an hour a night to get through a little bit of the game, because it's worth it. The first one, at least, is definitely worth it. I can't really speak to the other ones. I didn't really go all in on those, but I really did like the first season, like Eugene was saying.
If you get into the Telltale ones, the other one I really liked was The Wolf Among Us. However, if you get into that one, they never released season 2, as far as I'm aware. So
that's frustrating.
Yeah,
that's frustrating.
Yeah, the Michonne episodes never came out on the Switch, so I'd have to get those on something else.
Right.
Yeah. Are we talking Walking Dead now? You shown like
Walking Dead.
or was that like The Wolf Among Us? Okay. So I guess the benefit there is, at least as far as season 1 went, I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, Eugene, but every character in the Telltale series was unique, right? Like they weren't from
Yeah.
the show or the book or anything. So is
I-
that not true?
There were some from the comic/book or whatever it is. I don't think there was anything from the show. I don't watch the show though, so
Okay.
I couldn't tell you what's.
See, and I
Well, the
never
show
and I never read
is
the
loosely
comics,
based
so.
on the comics. So
Yeah. Yeah.
if
Okay,
they
yeah,
were from the comics, chances are they made some sort of appearance on the show.
Well, let me put it this way. I didn't recognize anyone. That doesn't mean that there wasn't anybody, but if they were, I think it was more cameo than anything, because you have kind of your main. It's funny, I can still remember the main cast. I can still remember
Same.
like the family you meet with the little boy, and and Clem, and with the main character, and yeah, and all the freaking like, oh god,
The farm. Oh, the farm.
the house you go to where they invite you in to dinner,
man,
and things get weird. Yeah, it was yeah, for sure. But yeah, no, so that's Sam and Max for what that's worth.
Or something.
Yeah, really. I don't really have that many other things to talk about. I am back on Fallout. I'm giving New Vegas my love and attention for a while. As I told Eugene, I am
God,
walking
that's something I
two
wish would come out
separate.
on Switch.
Yeah, I'm walking two separate paths. So I have a theory about that, actually. I have a theory about why these games don't come out on Switch. I think it's because these games are kind of meant to be modded at this point. Like when you watch people play these games online, I'm not modding New Vegas. I really want to get the raw New Vegas experience. But people
Skyrim is out on Switch.
Yeah, but Skyrim is also good as a base game. I don't care what
Skyrim's
all
also out on toasters.
Yeah, I don't care what all like the Oblivion fanboys say. Like Skyrim is
Can it
fine.
play Doom?
It's a good
Right.
game. But like I understand like why some of these older games, like people say that the thing about the older games that's good is like a game like New Vegas, it has a really good like plot and characters and stuff, but it's a little lacking on like the FPS side of things. But you can mod that in. You can mod in gameplay. You can't really mod in like character building and world building, and so that's a lot more intensive. That takes like a talented team of people that really but you can make a gun aim better and have a better like UI and stuff. So but yeah, I'm watching a lot of Fallout videos and memes and stuff, and I've been seeing some of the stuff you can do in like I was telling Eugene, like you can set yourself up to be like a racist cannibal, and that's an option, and like just the level of like role playing that you can have in this game is so cool. So I have like simultaneous characters I'm working on now. I have my good guy, and then I have my Negan, and I'm gonna try doing around as just the most menacing monster I can be, just killing everyone in my path. I'm gonna do my normal like good guy main character routine and see if I can enjoy the game that way. Because I really think that there's a series here that I could fall in love with, like I did with Elder Scrolls. So I'm hopeful, but we will see. We will see how that goes. If I had more games to talk about this week, well, I guess technically I played the Monster Hunter demo with Steve last night. That was real cool. But if you want to see that, just go to my YouTube channel because we are already running real late, and we have a question block question. So I want to get to that. Hey, Infendo Radio. This is from Jamie, by the way, on our Discord. Thank you, Jamie. We appreciate you. Hey, Infendo Radio. This is long. If you had a limited budget throughout the year, would you prefer to pick a couple of big, long games or a bunch of smaller indie titles? Then goes on to say, with the cost of living these days, it's hard to afford to buy new games all the time. Outside of birthdays and Christmas, I rarely get new games these days, hence I resort back to playing games I already own. If I do purchase a game, I want to get out of it as much as possible, and it might be a while before I get my next one, so my preference is RPGs like Fire Emblem Three Houses and Octopath Traveler. So which do you prefer if you don't have a lot of money to spend? Long games you can sink your teeth into over a long period of time, or smaller, multiple experiences that don't last as long? You guys do great work and are an awesome podcast to listen to. Thumbs up. Thumbs up to you, Jamie. Personally, I like a long game. Like I was talking about Skyrim. I will sink like 500 hours into Skyrim. I guess the question is it going to be a long game I enjoy? Because I've tried like Immortals Phoenix Rising, and it wasn't my cup of tea. And that's a long game. And if I blow $60 on a game like that, I'm really disappointed in myself because then it's like, oh, this kind of sucks. I
bought that game twice and still haven't really sunk enough time into it to make it worthwhile. And it's not a bad game. It's just blah.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt. No, I think in general, though, like I'm going to pick a longer game over a bunch of like you already know I'm not really the indie guy. So I'm not going to go out and get like Cave Story. God, I'm using Cave Story. That should date me. But like Cave Story, Shovel Knight, the Shantae collection, that kind of stuff. I think I'd rather get like Wind Waker and Skyrim and play that for like 6 months than play like a new indie game every month kind of thing. To answer your question, so that's my choice. What about you guys?
Oh, Jamie, I was in your position at one point in my life. It's always the longer game for me. That's why I got into RPGs originally, honestly, because it was a game a month, sometimes a game every 2 months, so when I was in high school and I was like saving my lunch money type of thing because I wasn't working or anything, I would buy an RPG, and that's when I really got into like games like Golden Sun. That's why I really got into games like what's the Tales of Symphonia on the GameCube, because those were like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours. That's why I really got into games like Smash, because that's a game where I put like thousands of hours into. There's just tons of replayability there. But now these days when I have more money, honestly, I've been enjoying my time on, I guess, like, I don't even know how to say it, maybe like more curated experiences, a little bit like, I'm okay if a game is 4 hours, honestly. Like, sometimes I'll seek a game like that out because I just don't have a lot of time to play these hundreds of thousands of hour games anymore, and I want to just complete an experience sometimes. So yeah, I enjoy shorter games at this point a little bit more than I would enjoy longer games, I would say. However, I'm playing Elden Ring right now, so your results may vary.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm kind of with Eugene on this one. As you probably noticed from the games that I talk about every week, I tend to gravitate towards the longer, more open world games, but like it's the open world part of it. Like if I'm going to play a game that's going to take me 50 to 100 hours to complete, it's going to take me 50 to 100 hours to complete because I spent 80 of those hours just wandering aimlessly doing whatever the hell I want. Whereas, like, I'm not as much of a 70-hour RPG sort of person because I tend to forget. Like, I was playing through Final Fantasy IX a while back, and I stopped playing it for so long. I've completely forgotten like what was going on in the story, and that I don't like. I like being able to kind of just jump right in, like, okay, here's where I am in the story, and now I'm just gonna go, do whatever I want for 2 hours. But I also like those real quick and dirty experiences. Like Portal was famous for being like this game that you could jump in, play for 5 to 10 hours and get a full experience out of it. And I love that. Like, maybe not so much if I'm going to play a game like that, it has to be something I can play in an easy mode, or a game that doesn't have a huge penalty for failure. I loved Lifeless Planet. Lifeless Planet was one of the easiest games I've ever played. You almost can't die in that. I mean, you can die, but you come right back to where you died, and then you just trial and error your way through it. But the story and the atmosphere and everything was just so engaging, and it took me about 7 hours to beat.
That's actually kind of I played the Jedi Outcast or whatever the Respawn game was, because you can put that on like baby mode basically, and then just enjoy the story, and I kind of like that actually.
Yeah, well, exactly. Like, and I bring up Portal again. Portal is pretty much a failure-proof game. Like, you just kind of have to brain your way through it, not brawn it your way through it, and you get a really engaging experience out of it. There was that one Superliminal that came out on the Switch and a few other systems that was very Portal-like, where it took you about 5 hours to complete, and there really was no failing at it, but you got a really unique and fulfilling experience out of it. I prefer that over something like, I love Shovel Knight. I thought it was a brilliant game, and I played it all the way through. I have not played through pretty much any of the DLC because it's a game that you bang your head against. Same thing with the that Cyber Ninja game that Yacht Club published a few months ago. I can't remember the name of it. Cyber Shadow or something like that. That plays very much like Shovel Knight in that it is just a keep doing it over and over and over again until you get it right sort of game. And it plays incredibly well and it's a lot of fun, but like it's like Cuphead. I can spend an hour getting through a single level and then I'm just burnt out on the game for
Very Dark
months.
Souls.
Yeah, and I
Dark
can find
Souls.
I can find that kind of gameplay actually really engaging. Like with Mario Strikers right now with the hard mode, tournament. I said I'm going to be on this for months because I can't even get through the first level of the easiest tournament in hard mode. Like, so that's going to be one of those things where I'm going to get burnt out, but I'm going to keep coming back. This game's got me, I will say one other thing, and this goes back to my whole Bethesda, Skyrim, whatever opinion. But if you can find a game like a Fallout or something where like choices matter and morality matters, and it's already like a 60 to 80 hour game, you've got a nice long game there because you can do a route as the good guy, you can do a route as the bad guy, you can do a neutral route, you can do a route where you're going to be a thief, a route where you're going to be an archer. Like that's the kind if you've got the like imagination for it, a game like that can keep you busy for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
So I would recommend finding a game like that if you're gonna be on a tight budget and that's your go-to. But again, that's just me. You might be the kind of person I think Steve might answer this as like an indie thing. If Steve had to make this choice, I think Steve would probably say, indie games, give me like the entire Shantae collection for like, $10.
And that might actually be the real answer, right? Like if you have access to Steam and you only have $60, you can probably buy 60 games. Game Pass, yeah.
Well, and I don't know exactly what he was trying to tell us in the show notes because he was kind of communicating to us from beyond the grave. But he said for question block, mention the Switch Online game trials and the fact that Stardew came west on it yesterday. I know that on Switch Online's they have their demo games and everything. Stardew Valley is available for the next week. Maybe what he's trying to say there is that there are a bunch of free games you can access that kind of way too. And again, through Game Pass and stuff. So there's options out there. You just gotta be creative about it. When I was little, I used to play Ocarina of Time over and over and over again and just pretend I was like a villager. It's I was real
fishing.
And I still can replay, Ocarina of Time and A Link to the Past. Sometimes I will just pull out an old ass game and replay it just for the hell of it. But yeah, I have been on a really limited gaming budget for most of the past year between saving for our trip and then my wife had an accident that took her out of work for 6 or 7 months, and so if I bought a game, it was the only game I was going to buy for the next 3 or 4 months. So I had to be really selective. It was either $60 on this one game that's going to keep me occupied for this much time, or all these little $5-10 games that are going to keep me occupied for maybe a week or two.
Right.
And so I was definitely in that position, and I tended to, all right, I'm going to plop $60 on this big game, and then the next time I have a little bit of money, I might throw some at this tiny short experience.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God! I haven't even been watching chat, but Steve did just mention Panzer Dragoon. That's another one of those games that I bought for dirt cheap on the Switch, and played one level of and never picked up again. But it's a quick game that I can finish in an afternoon, I'm sure. So
Steve was saying he got it the other day for $2. Yeah, you can find some. And again, if you're a PC gamer, get on Steam and wait for a sale because they're all over, and you can get some high budget games on the cheap on Steam. So if you got that PC game,
I think that's the real answer. If you have a PC, that's the real answer because
Steam is great. Yeah.
Or even
when I installed Windows on my MacBook, the first thing I downloaded was Steam, so that I can finally play all these games that I couldn't on my Mac.
It's cool. I downloaded all the game stores because you get just free stuff. I downloaded Epic Game Store because they
every month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, every month you get a free game on Epic, which is really cool. If you're of the slightly less, morally upstanding variety, or you don't have qualms about it, like I didn't as a child, you can always emulate a few games too. I spent an entire winter break playing through Mother 3, which I felt no guilt about because the game wasn't even available in my region, but
That's an
again,
option too.
there's a gray area there. We've had listeners who say they don't, they don't approve of that kind of stuff. But if it's in your wheelhouse, if you own the game somewhere and you feel like you're not stealing or whatever, or if it's just a game you don't have access to, I stand by it. Emulation is a good way to get those games, especially the old ones that aren't like releasable anymore. Like
I
the Game Boy
experienced a ton of games in my youth through emulation. Like I would never would
up a whole new world. Yeah.
never would have played Earthbound without it. Like I own that cartridge nowadays, and I spent way too much money for it. But like the first time playing it was an emulator.
Well, and now we all own it anyway because of Switch Online. So again,
Sure.
I don't know what the gray area of like legal emulation is, but I feel like you own it somewhere. It's fine to play it on your computer. Like I don't really see that as a problem. You've already paid somebody for it. It's your game. Do what you want to do now. So, all right. Look, we've talked this topic to death. Hopefully, we've given you some ideas for how to spend that hard-earned birthday and Christmas money,
or not spend any money at all.
Yeah.
Let us know. Hit us up on Discord. Hit us up on Twitter. People of the world, how do you game? Do you do little bite-sized nuggets, or do you get the whole burger in one go? And let us know. We want to hear from you. Anyway,
Or do you spend 2 months of your gaming budget on a Lego set and play that instead?
That too, yeah. We've been recording for like 80 minutes now, and this is a 60-minute podcast, so we're gonna get out of here. But thank you so much for watching. We'll be back again next week with another episode. Until then, take care of yourselves, stay safe.
See you real soon.
Adios.
Peace.